we're just going to give it a couple of minutes just to get everyone a chance to join us. But before we get started, if you would like to support the park, you can purchase an annual membership online, which will allow you access to the park and the facilities here for 12 months to visit us and the animals. Or if you're in a position where you can't access the park but would still love to support us, you can purchase a pay it forward membership, which will go to a local family in need who will be help identified through Vinnie's, the Salvation Army and the local Basque Coast Health. Alright guys, well my name's Renee, I'm one of the keepers here today, and welcome to our koala area with our koalas. So here with me at the moment is Grace, our 3-year-old girl, and then we have Tilly just over there at the moment. We're going to go see her in just a little bit. Now you guys are pretty lucky to see her awake at the moment. Koalas sleep about 18 to 20 hours every day. When they are awake, this is pretty much what they do. They eat or they scratch. Now there's a bit of a common myth that says that they're drunk on the leaves, but that's just not true. They're just really, really tired animals. Now these eucalyptus leaves that Grace is munching on here don't have a lot of energy in them. The energy in the leaves is quite low and they're full of toxins and poisons. So it may take up to 3 days to digest just a single leaf. So it can take quite a long time to digest her full meal. So she needs to eat about 10% of her body weight every day, up to 1 kilo of leaf every day. So that's quite a lot of food. So you can imagine it takes a long time to digest it all. Now they have to be very fussy with the kind of leaf that they eat as well. Not just any eucalypt will do. So in Australia, we have about 800 types of eucalypt all across Australia, but only 50 that are really that koalas can eat. And that will lessen depending on where they are. So in an area, there may only be 5 to 10 species of eucalypt that a koala can eat. Now, and they do have their personal favourites as well. So there may only be 2 to 3 species, depending on the season, that a koala will eat every day. So some people will ask, if that's the case, and their food is so minimal in energy, why don't we feed them something else? Why don't we give them apples and bananas or even some coffee? And the reason is they like their diet. Nobody else eats it, so they don't have to share. They're nice and safe in the tops of their trees where they have no natural predators, and they don't even have to come down to drink. Now we've got Tilly sneaking up on us here. Now if you keep a close eye on Tilly, on her belly there, you'll see little Pepper. So Pepper is our little 6-month-old baby boy koala. And I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a minute. But as we were saying with the leaves, they are a pretty poor source of nutrition, but they're a really good source of food because nobody else eats it. So they don't have to share. That way, they can stay nice and safe in the tops of their trees. They don't have to worry about anybody else coming to steal their food. And they also get all their water from the leaves as well. Those leaves are about 75% water. So that's actually how koalas got their name. The word koala means no drink or no water in Aboriginal, who were the first people to notice they never came down to drink. Now that doesn't mean they don't drink at all. Sometimes koalas will drink water if they need to. So on days where it's very, very hot, they may come down for a drink of water from a river or something. Or if the koala's feeling a little bit unwell, or in times of drought, when the leaves are a lot drier than they usually would be, you'll see koalas coming down to drink. But generally, when they do need to drink, they're going to wait for a rainstorm to pour water down the branches, and they're going to lick them just off there. You'll see little Pepper having a bit of a sniff at the leaves there. He's learning from Tilly all the best leaves to eat. And she's teaching him which ones are the best ones and which ones are the good ones. Now they rely on that big nose to help them decide what food is best to eat and what food they can't digest. Now there's a bit of a myth that koalas only eat eucalyptus and nothing else. Koalas can sometimes eat other kinds of leaves that aren't eucalypt, though eucalypt makes up 99% of their diet. On occasion, they have been known to eat things like tea tree and wattles and nibble at things like that as well, or even the flowers off a eucalypt can make a good treat too. Now, just for those joining us, again, welcome to Maru and welcome to our live koala talk. My name's Renee. I'm one of the keepers here today, introducing you to our koalas. And we're here at the moment with Tilly and Pepper. Now, Tilly is 5 years old and Pepper is about 6 months. Now, koala mums have a pretty easy pregnancy. They're only pregnant for about 30 to 35 days. Now, when they give birth to a tiny little baby joey, it's only the size of a jelly bean, absolutely tiny. And that's because she's a marsupial, just like our kangaroos or our wallabies. So she does have a pouch. Now, that tiny little joey will crawl up into mum's pouch once it's born and do all its development in there. And it'll grow from a tiny pink little jelly bean all the way up into the little koala that you see today. But that can be a long process. They'll spend the first 5 months of their life just in the trees. First 5 months of their life, in the pouch, before they start riding around on mum's belly like you're seeing Pepper do at the moment. And then they'll ride around on mum's back like a little koala backpack. At which point, they're with mum until they're about 1, maybe 2 years old. At that age, they're considered independent and mum will send them away to their own territories because she hasn't got enough energy to raise more than one baby at a time, and she doesn't want to compete with her babies for the same resources. So she'll send them away and have a new baby in the summer, which is breeding season for our koalas. Now, our koalas have quite a few special features to help them with life amongst the trees. So as they're wandering about, you might notice that they have 6 thumbs. So on her hands here, she's got 2 thumbs and 3 fingers. And then on her back foot as well, she's also got another thumb. So 6 thumbs all together, along with those big sharp claws to help them climb amongst the trees. And then, you want that one? To help them get amongst the trees. And then in their backside, they also have a big cartilage plate. Koala traffic jam. They have a big cartilage plate that they use, and it actually forms like a memory foam pillow. So everywhere that they go, that is like a nice soft pillow to keep them comfortable and keep them secure in the tree. Grace is going over to exploration at the moment. We found some yummy leaf up there, have we, Grace? And unlike you and me, when we go to sleep, all our muscles relax. A koala's muscles lock in place to keep them feeling nice and secure. And that way they can sleep for 18 hours in the tree and know that they don't have to worry about falling out. They're nice and safe where they are. Now, unfortunately, our koalas are now listed as a vulnerable species, which is one step away from becoming endangered. And the biggest threat to them is deforestation and habitat loss. We're demolishing their habitat at a faster rate than we can replant it, leaving these guys in the wild, nowhere to live and nothing to eat. Since European settlement, we've lost 80% of our koala habitat, with the remaining 20% on privately owned land and very little of it protected. So while our koalas are a protected species, their trees are not, and that's what we're hoping to change in the future. At current estimates, if nothing changes, these guys will be extinct by 2050, which is not that far away. And then with our yearly bushfires and things like that, the numbers are declining even further. So little things that you can do every day to make an impact on our koalas are little things like recycling, minimising our use of paper and plastic where we can, recycling what we don't need, and when we can, buying recycled or sustainable can minimise our impact, and not just these guys, but all our native animals as well. If you live in an area around koalas, driving safely and slower around dawn and dusk is the best way to help protect them as well, because they're most active at those times of the day.
So Renee, we got a couple of questions. We got someone asking, how long do our koalas live for?
In the wild, koalas live anywhere from about 8 to 12 years. But with people, our koalas may live anywhere from 15 even up to 18. The oldest known koala was 22 years old.
We've got someone who said our peacocks are very loud today.
Yes, they are.
We got, how can I donate?
Donate? Oh, that's a good question. So if you would like to donate to the park, to help us, our breeding program, help us support koalas, you can do so via our website and those annual memberships. But there's also lots of different programs for koalas. Start by having a look at places like the Australian Koala Foundation. They're generally a good place to start, and they can point you in the right direction to helping out koalas. If you can't donate but would very much like to help, there's lots of different programs that happen around Victoria or even around Australia to help protect our koalas. So things like tree planting days, or even going out into the areas and helping to weed where new trees have been planted to protect our koalas, are programs you can be a part of as well.
Do we have any other questions at all?
Well guys, if you have any other questions at all, feel free. Oh, we got one more there.
Are these southern or northern type koalas?
So the koalas we have here at the park are southern koalas, and you can tell because they're much fluffier than the northerns, a little bit larger, and you can see these very, very fluffy ears just here. That's really the main difference between northerns and southerns. Northerns are a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter because they don't need that excess fur to keep them warm like our koalas down here in the south do.
We've got Grace who's being very cheeky right now and trying to hold us while we're talking.
Now guys, as I said before, if you would like to help support the park and our koala breeding program and the other animals here at the park as well, you can do so by purchasing an annual membership online. If you can't access the park but would like to support us anyway, what you can do is purchase a Pay It Forward membership, which will be donated to a local family in need, which will help identify with the Best Coast Health, the Salvation Army and St. Vinny's. Aside from that guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. We've got one more question.
Another question. What does the baby koala do inside of the pouch?
So when they're in the pouch, pretty much they just fuse to a teat that's in there, and they just focus on growing. So they will just drink mum's milk and grow until they get a little bit bigger, and they'll start to grow their fur, their claws, and open their eyes. And when they first emerge, they'll essentially look like a little koala, but they'll only be about 500 grams.
How much do our koalas eat every day?
Our koalas eat about a kilo of eucalypt every day, or 10% of their body weight. Beautiful guys, well thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any more questions, please put them in the comments and we'll get to you as soon as possible. We'll hope to answer all the questions today. Aside from that guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you at the park soon. Thank you.